6. You guys look at grade 8. You guys are awesome. That's so good. Maybe you're smarter than grade 8, so, right? Smarter than grade 8? Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? My name is Sean. I'd like to welcome everyone to our live stream and to the Tipi making workshop featuring Natalie Ortega. I also like to recognize all our partners who made today possible, especially the Toronto Council Fire for helping to put on today's event. Also, I would like to first acknowledge that we are sitting on the ancestral lands and territories of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and other Anishinaabe peoples. These lands are part of the Dish with One Spoon Treaty and are now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis, Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. We recognize the significance of these lands and Indigenous peoples past and present as we celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day. We respect, learn from, and honor the deep relationship between Indigenous peoples and the earth. Natalie is one of Toronto Council Fire's families, youth, and special event workers. She helps plan ceremonies, events, and gatherings around the Indigenous lunar calendar. At this workshop, children will learn about the historical usage of tipis while crafting and stylizing their own personal tipi to take home. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Natalie Ortega.
Hello! Hi guys, how are you? Good. Good. So as Sean said, my name is Natalie. I work for Toronto Council Fire Native Cultural Center. I work as their event coordinator, help plan events like this. So thanks for coming out. We have about 45 of you, right? 24? 24 students? Okay, awesome. Did you guys have a look at the tipis outside?
Yes.
And you said no? You didn't see them? I didn't see them. How did you miss them? You didn't see them. Okay, you're going to have to go outside and have a look at the tipis. Maybe take a little peek inside. You can't see the tipis outside. But so the tipis outside, they're typically made with 15 poles. And we have 3 poles which are our base. And they represent 3 things: humility, respect, and obedience. Do you guys know what those mean? What does respect mean? Can you give me an example?
Respect is like when you kind of show like some kind of, I can't like use the word to define
You
it.
can't use the word in the definition, yeah.
But like you show care to someone.
That's good. Good, okay, so showing care to somebody. Does somebody have another example of respect? Okay, showing somebody the way you want to be treated, great. What about
Being loyal to someone.
loyal to somebody? Okay. What's another way we show obedience? Sorry? Okay, listening to what somebody says or tells you to do, good. And then what about humility?
Humility is like kind of don't really think of yourself like you're above everyone.
Good, so you're thinking about others as well. Kind of like respect. So we all kind of intertwine, right? Okay, so as well on our tipis, I don't know the ones that have seen the tipis, there are 3 drawings. So there's the drawings on top for the sky world, then we have drawings in the middle. It's kind of based around animals and everything, the things that are living. And then underneath we have like the grass and the trees. So today we're going to be creating some tipis with you guys. In the center of your tables we have some construction paper, markers, crayons, and then also there's little skewer sticks, which are going to kind of be the 3 bases of your tipis. Okay? I have one more question for you guys, so I forgot. So tipis are typically made with buffalo hide. Do you know how many buffaloes it takes to make a tipi? How many? Take a guess. 5, okay, a little more. Go ahead. 8 is close, yeah, we have 8 to something. 8 to what? More than 9. What? More than 10. More than 12. What? 14. We're just going up by singles, right? Very close, one more. 15. So it's 8 to 15 buffalo hides to make the tipi, okay? Which is pretty cool. And then usually teepees, they're actually made very easily so we can pack up and travel, because a lot of people used to just pack up their home. They can take it with them to sleep, and they use it for many different reasons. Are you guys ready to start the craft? Yeah? Okay. And I go over here. Okay, so this is your teepee template. The teepee, the bottom of the teepee is going to be right here, okay? So you guys are going to be able to design what you want on the teepee. And then once you're done your design, you're just going to cut it out. And then cut this black little line right here. That's going to be your flaps for the door. Okay? And then we'll come around. I have Eric, to help us make the teepees for you guys if you guys need any help. But for now, just design your teepee and then we'll move forward from there. Good? Okay. Dan, do you want to switch to this one? Sean? this is going to be the top. So make sure you're drawing on it the right way.
Where should we draw?
This is the bottom, this is the top. So make sure you're not drawing on it upside down. It's going to be like this.
I got an email last night. I was like, oh God. And because I was this morning, I was making the post. Oh, we can just hand it. If it's an English.
Do you guys like my drawing? Okay, everybody, once you're done your little drawings, you're going to be cutting out the template, okay? Make sure you keep this piece inside where it says tab. Don't cut the tab off because that's what you're going to use to take over. Okay? So just cut out the whole thing.
And if you don't know, that's Canada's national sport. Canada's national sport. In fact, tonight, Canada plays the U.S. on TSN. A rematch level match is happening in San Diego on TSN, I believe, at 3 o'clock tonight. So the whole field broadcasting. Hard to show us down there as well. We compete as sovereign nation in the World Games international competition. And this is my nephew here, Tyler. He's going to teach you a little bit. What you know, you make a lot of home right. So again, his game, straight ball. So the big thing about it too is the
And thank you everybody on YouTube for joining us today.
Why? What is that?
Everything up.
I didn't buy you. We don't see my what should I draw? Yo, what about
Wait, hard. Yeah, that's the We're all making the same TV. Okay. I used to want to be mad. Like you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our celebration here at the Ontario Science Center. We are celebrating National Indigenous Peoples Day. We want to recognize all our amazing partners who are making this day special, especially the Toronto Council Fire. We've been having such a great day so far. We started off the festivities with the opening ceremonies. We had jiggers and fiddlers here today from the women of the Métis Council of Ontario. We're doing lacrosse events with the Haudenosaunee lacrosse program. This morning we featured our first live stream at 10:30, and that was about Tipi making and the Tipi making craft workshop. And in a few short moments, we are going to be talking about the Inukshuk and learn a little bit about the Inukshuk and its significance. And we are going to be doing that with sculpture is Henry Kudluk. Just having so much fun that we're just going to be starting in a few short moments. We're just making sure that we have everything set up to give you an amazing live stream and presentation for this event. Also, we'll have a separate link if you want to check out some more great teachings, Indigenous led. This afternoon at 1:30, we are going to be featuring the first fire dance team, and we're also going to be talking about showing some hoop dancing as well. Then at 2:30, we are going to be featuring some hand drumming as well. So that is on a separate check YouTube for that link as well. We're excited that you could join us. Once again, we'll be starting in a few short moments. Thanks everyone, and enjoy your day. See you soon. to welcome everyone here at the Ontario Science Fair live stream and everyone in the
Hold
room
that.
as well.
I got too much stuff in my pocket.
People's Day, we also recognize all our
My
partners
cards.
making this possible today.
Got too much stuff.
Especially the Toronto Council Fund. My name is John. I'm a researcher programmer here at the Ontario Science Center. And I'm to the Inukshuk Teachings by Henry Angootimagik. Before I do that, I want to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral land and territories of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and other Anishinaabe peoples. These lands are part of the District of One Spoon Treaty and are now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, islands. We recognize the significance of these lands to Indigenous people past and present, and as we celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day, we respect, learn from, and honor the deep relationship between Indigenous peoples and the earth. Henry is an Inuit artist born in Churchill, Manitoba, and raised in Coral Harbor, Nunavut. The Inukshuk, a rock bearer. So please join me in welcoming Henry Kudluk.
You hear me fine? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I am Henry Kudluk. I am originally from Coral Harbor in Nunavut. I grew up in Coral Harbor. It's in the northern part of Hudson Bay. If you look at the Canadian map, and the Hudson Bay, and the northern part of Ontario and Quebec, that's where I grew up in Coral Harbor in Nunavut. And I pretty much grew up, when school ended, which is going to be soon for you guys, when school ended, we'd go out on the land and we'd live off the land and be on the land until school began again. And then we go back to town, and that's how we grew up. And so I got to very much experience how Inuit lived at the very end of traditional way of living in igloos and tents. I and my family, there are 10 of us in my family. I was near the youngest, and I was the first one in my family to be born in a hospital. And the rest of my older siblings, they were born in igloos and tents. So not very long ago is when we began moving into houses in the north where Inuit lived. Mid-60s is when Inuit began moving into houses. So I got to experience the very end of traditional way of Inuit living in igloos and tents. We still very much hunt for our food because it's a very high cost of living up north. So Inuit have hunting to try and offset the high cost of living, and that's how much we survive. And we everything we catch, we share with other Inuit, and we do not waste any of our food. And we're supposed to be thankful to the animals that we catch and we eat, and to be thankful to the animal to say thank you for giving yourself to us. Because that's the belief that the animal is giving itself to you for you to eat. That's the belief in our society, Inuit belief system. So, and the Inukshuk that we're going to be doing today are very much a land marker. It is a land marker. Because in the tundra, there are no trees. So you can't use a tree as a land marker. It looks all plain and the same. So you have to erect a Inukshuk, let's say on a hill that's pretty high or whatever. And then you use that land marker to know where you are in the land. So you never know, you always know which way is home or which way is where you're going. So, because the tundra is treeless, and so you gotta be able to know where you're going. And that's what the Inukshuk is. It's a land marker to know where you're going. In the Vancouver Olympics, I think they said it was a sign of friendship. It's literally just a land marker. It's not a friendship sign, it's a land marker. The simplest form I've heard of a Inukshuk is two rocks being placed near each other by a river, and that's a good fishing spot for people to go fishing. So people, if you find two rocks, that's a good fishing spot. That's the simplest form I've heard. And the other, there's many types of Inukshuk that you can make. Literally, you can just pile a bunch of rocks together, and it could become just a shape like that, just piled up. Or you can make a Inukshuk with arms and legs. It depends on what kind of Inukshuk you want to make. I've made some myself in the north. They're not very prominently in a hill, but I made them. And to me, it was fun to make them because it was something to do and it's some activity, and you could say, I made that. And when you drive by it or whatever, say, I made that. And I'm named after an elder who is passed on now. His name was Angootimagik, and he built a large Inukshuk just out of piles of rock together, and he named it Angootimagik, which is my namesake's name. And so there's a Inukshuk up there that's named after my namesake that I'm named after. So I have an Inukshuk in my Southampton Island where I grew up. So I've never been to it. I've seen photos of it, but I've never actually made it to that Inukshuk, what my namesake made, which is named after him. He made it after him, named it after himself. So which was pretty cool for me to learn that. So yeah, and Inuit are very much a hunting society still because of the very exorbitant high cost of living in the north. We're very much a hunting society still. It's a very tough life in the north because you are pretty much having to survive the elements, the cold, and the 9 months of the year we have snow. And in the summer now, it's springtime now, there's lots of geese now, and the snow is melting. It melts really fast now due to global warming. And the global Arctic north is warming faster than anywhere on Earth. The circumpolar north are warming faster. So yeah, I lived a very traditional lifestyle growing up. I got to see the end of the dog team, where the snowmobile kind of replaced the dog team, and I got to sleep in a igloo as a young boy, going out hunting, and I thought I was going to freeze to death waking up in the morning, but I'm here, I'm alive, and I thought I was going to die just from the cold, because it was my first time waking up in a cold igloo. It was mine was 40-something. It was like no heat yet. It was like I thought I was going to shiver to death, but I'm here, I'm alive, so it was all right. Those kind of experiences give you character, make up who you are, all those different experiences. So yeah, any questions or anything about the North? Anyone have any questions? Yes?
You know, hear people say Inukshuk. Is that the right way of pronouncing it?
Yes. The spelling is a little bit different, the SH on the shuk part, but the Inukshuk is, yeah, it's pretty much one way to say it. And actually, I had a debate with somebody one that said there's two ways to say it, Inukshuk, and one region in the community they said Inukshugak. So there's two ways to say it, Inukshuk and Inukshugak. So it's a debate on, it's a dialectal thing, and different people have different dialects where I come from, and some words are not the same from one region to the next, so it depends on where you are from, on what it's called. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes? The question is, can people grow their food up north? Some. Maybe they do grow some in the Yukon area, but in where the tundra is, it's not conducive to grow food because there's permafrost right under the ground, maybe about 1 meter or 3 meters down. Depends where you are. The higher you go up in the Arctic, the more permafrost there will be. But we do get 24-hour sunlight in the summer and 24-hour darkness in the winter. That's the two extremes. 24-hour darkness for 3 months in the year in the Arctic Circle. And in the summertime, the other extreme is 24-hour daylight in the Arctic Circle, where the sun never sets. And the other extreme is where you never see the sun for 3-4 months of the year. Depends where you are. If you're in the Arctic Circle, you get 3 months of darkness or 3 months of daylight, which is a very cool experience. Any other questions? Yes? Teenager, when I started to think of making something for myself on the land, it wasn't somewhere in particular to say it's a landmark, or I just made one for myself. I think it was just a pile of rock, but the one I'm going to make here in Toronto, it's going to be, it's a human figure with arms and legs. With the arms and legs, I've learned that the shamans were our spirit helpers, and the ones that knew how to find the animals. They were the ones that said that the arms and the legs, Inukshuk, are the ones that are telling other shamans that they don't want to fight with other shamans. It's a way to say, I don't want to battle with other shamans. And that's what the arms and the legs Inukshuk was. Because there are many forms of Inukshuk, just a pile of rocks, or just arms and a leg, or just the two pieces of rocks. That's Inukshuk to communicate with people that may come after you. It's a land marker, communicational land marker.
Henry, maybe at this time, because we have all these blogs and all these wonderful creative minds, if we could, maybe you could show us how
Yes.
to make one,
Yeah.
and maybe you guys can follow along and then see how we do it.
As I said, this is the most, the one I'm similar to this I'm going to make with the arms and the legs and the head. But the simplest form, it could be just two pieces of rocks like that. We're using wood today, but this would be rocks normally. Two pieces of rock for a good fishing spot by a river. You could make something like this. Maybe a little head. There. So there's the common form of Inukshuk, the most one you see the most. But as I said, there could be just piles of stones that you could put up. Normally, when you're building an Inukshuk in the north, they are just freestanding stone. You balance one on each other, and they're just freestanding. And you put on a little piece of pebble to, let's say, balance it. If it's wobbly, then you put shells of rock under there to make it not move. When it stops moving, then you put on the next piece, make sure it stops moving with pebbles or whatever under the piece. Then you take the next piece, make sure it's balanced, then you keep building it up like that. The tricky part is the Inukshuk with the arms, because you're going to have to put weight on the arms to keep it there and keep it from falling off. This is for you engineer guys. So it's going to have stability and sturdy. It's not going to fall apart when someone's going to climb on it or whatever. That's the hope. That when the Inukshuk is made, we hope that it's going to be strong enough to withstand any kind of wind or anything like that, or people. Because I've seen Inukshuk, if they're not properly built, they could fall over with the wind, or with the weight of the snow and the melting or the ice. It could shift it and it could knock it over. So you have to be pretty careful in your balancing as you build it up. And they're all freestanding stones. They're not cemented or rebarred or anything like that. They're all freestanding in the north.
Henry, what's the tallest Inukshuk that you've seen? What's the tallest Inukshuk you've seen?
There's a pretty big one here in Toronto. I've seen another Inuit artist make. They're normally just about maybe even chest height or even a little bit taller. They're not very large in terms, some of them could be wide maybe, but they're not very tall in terms. It's more of a, they're mostly placed on the highest hill around the area. So you know where you are in the area with looking at the hills, so you know where you are on the land. So, any other questions? Yeah, yeah, people generally share a good hunting spot. You just tell them, you go to this this Inukshuk or whatever, and that area has a good hunting spot. So generally it's to show, give direction to people. So you're not just going over there and not really sure. If you see a land marker, then you know where to go. Yeah. Awesome.
So we want to thank Henry for that great presentation. Let's give him a round of applause. You can continue trying to build your Inukshuk, and for those of you online, we want to say thank you. Yeah, thanks everyone, and take care.
Awesome. Thank you very much.